Morning, folks. I'm NTV Chief Meteorologist Eddie Shear. Our storm is over. We can all at least take a collective breath of relief because the wind is done and the snow is done for most areas. But now the cleanup can begin. And the cleanup is going to be immense. Going to take hours, if not days, from the pictures I've seen and the amount of snow that fell yesterday across areas of the Avalon Peninsula and the Northeast Coast. St. John's recorded 76 centimeters of snow during this storm, making it the biggest one-day snowfall in recorded history of St. John's going back to 1942. And this is something we were talking about for the last number of days. Were we going to get there? Was it going to be number one? Was it going to be number two? And as you can see there, your top five now has a new number one. 76.2 centimeters recorded yesterday, January 17th, 2020, knocking the massive April 5th, 99 storm out of first place by almost 10 centimeters. An incredible thing. Something I didn't think I'd see here. I thought storms like this were a myth. Turns out they are reality. As we take a look at our live NTV Skycam overlooking downtown St. John's now about 11:14 in the morning, we can see it looks like part of New Gower Street has at least a cut in it. Many streets around town are still impassable. States of emergency are still in effect for St. John's, Paradise, Mount Pearl, probably CBS, Portugal Cove, St. Phillips, and Torbay. I haven't seen anything saying they've been lifted, which means you can't go out, you can't travel. If you do, you're probably going to get stuck and you might be on your own. So just give it a little while longer until some of the main streets, some of the main thoroughfares do get kind of cleaned up and at least a cut or two in them. But even if they're cleaned up, your neighborhood might be impassable until plows can get in there and clean things up. I've seen city streets in St. John's with cars literally buried in snow. Minus 10 currently is what the airport is reporting. The anemometer, the device that measures wind speed, is currently not functioning. Winds are not calm. They are gusty, but not nearly as gusty as they were this time yesterday. The Thorburn Road Cam was working a few minutes ago. Now it does not appear to be functioning. As we take a look at the airport webcam here at St. John's International, you can see the blowers out trying to get the runways open, the ramps open, taxiways opened up. But if you're planning on flying today, I don't think you're getting out. I think it might be until tomorrow where we start to see things opening back up so far as the airport is concerned, because it's going to be quite a cleanup. In conjunction with that, it's cold and breezy, so the snow that's being blown off runways just going to blow right back on. And so that presents challenges as well, keeping the runways open and free of debris and contamination for aircraft to land and take off. So I would expect air impacts today and tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening perhaps again, because more snow is on the way, but nowhere near what we just saw. So far as the satellite imagery is concerned, here's our area of low pressure. You can see it there swirling away into the North Atlantic. Areas of Greenland going to take the brunt of this one now. Hurricane force winds, 120, 140 kilometers per hour, up to 2 feet of snow, 60 centimeters going to fall on parts of southern and southwestern Greenland with this. Very similar to what we just went through. But as it leaves, the air is cooling down. We are seeing some sunshine, though. You can see the cloud cover there across the northwest Atlantic, but skies are clearing out across much of the island right now, and it's bright and sunny across Labrador as well today, albeit very cold. As we do take a closer look in, we can see a few flurries lingering across the Avalon, but they are winding down, and as we go throughout the day, especially once we're through about lunchtime, it should be nice and dry out there. So far as the futurecast is concerned through today, those are the wind gusts you see there. They'll back off throughout the day. A few flurries persist around the west coast, south of Corner Brook, up through Stephenville and down through Channel Port aux Basques, but otherwise nothing to write home about so far as the weather is concerned today. And as we go into tonight, there's nothing also really to be concerned about either. As we go and look at temperatures now, we can see it's cold. We're looking at minus teens, wind chills down to the minus 20s in Newfoundland and Labrador, wind chills down close to minus 40 with air temperatures into the minus 20s. So it's very bitterly cold across the province today. And as we go throughout the rest of today, we're not going to see a whole lot of movement in those temperatures. And as we go into tomorrow, more snow begins to spread in tomorrow afternoon, south and west, working its way north and east. As we go throughout the evening hours into more overnight, ending early Monday morning, it may end as a bit of a drizzle on the Avalon. And for those of you wondering how much snow we're going to see, well, This go around, we're not talking about much, 5, 10 centimeters. That will about do it. So a nuisance for sure, but not expecting a whole lot. Looks like the most going to be across eastern and southern Newfoundland, with portions of the west coast seeing a few centimeters as well. Perhaps up to 15 centimeters on parts of the Burin Peninsula as this does move by. But so far as weather goes, after tomorrow, we're pretty quiet through a good chunk of the week, so we can continue the kind of cleanup process, which is going to be a big one for sure. And just to share a couple of pictures with you, we're seeing on Twitter right now, I'm seeing on Twitter right now, just lots and lots of pictures of cars and whatnot being buried. Here's Deacon Flynn on Twitter. There's a car that is buried, a couple of cars buried up to the roof, and that's just insanity. This is from Colin Craig. Look at that. These are like pictures you'd see from the 1920s, like people like shoveling snow off the first floor windows of their homes, like just insane amounts of snow. Speaking of snow, this is my backyard. That's what my shed looks like when it's not snowed in, and that's what it looks like this morning after a lot of the snow had fallen. So the cleanup process is on. Some streets, some cars are buried in snow. Looks like the day after tomorrow out there in some spots, folks. What I want you to do is stay safe, heed the warnings. States of emergency are still in effect. Make sure you listen to that and don't go out unless you absolutely have to. And if you do, conditions are going to improve, but you risk getting stuck for sure. All right, stay safe, folks. My day is just going to begin now because I have to go and start clearing snow myself, which I think is going to be an all-day chore. Stay safe, limber up before you shovel and snowblow, and take your time. It's going to be a long dig out, and there's no reason to rush it. Stay warm, stay safe, and have a great Saturday.